Alright guys, let's talk more about No Man's Sky Waypoint, aka Update 4.0. There's actually lots more features than we discussed about in yesterday's video, including a few secret interactions and other things that you might have missed, and you might come to appreciate them because it definitely seems they were added there for some extra wow factor in case you might pay attention to them. As always, a thumbs up on this video would be greatly appreciated, and let's begin with the first one. If you head over at the Exosuit researcher at the Space Anomaly, you will notice that they sell a brand new blueprint for a trading rocket. So this is something that you will have to craft and place into your technologies tab, and once you do that, you will get a brand new action to summon your very own trading rocket ship. It even has its own cool animation, like it descends from the sky. It has that pretty awesome landing sequence happening over there, and once it does, it opens up so you can interact with it. So this lets you pretty much trade any of your existing items in your current inventory. There's only a 10 slot limit on the rocket itself, but there's no limit to the amount or the value of the items that you can sell via this method, so it can literally be in the millions of units. Once you do that, you can launch the rocket ship, and after about 3 seconds, it's going to ascend in the skies and start its launching sequence. Now, I did go ahead and follow it because if you paid attention to it, you will see that it does not despawn. And I will commend Hello Games on this small detail right here, which is the fact that it actually does not despawn until it reaches the nearby space station, no matter how far away it is from your current planet. I, in this case, was following one up to like 15 minutes. That's how far this space station in this case was, and I can pretty much confirm that it traveled all the way through there. You can also attempt to shoot it, which is not going to deal any damage, but you can totally bump into it, and it's going to cause it to like spin into space until it regains its trajectory. I am going to say this is a nice attention to detail over there from Hello Games, and eventually it does reach the space station itself. Another pretty awesome change is to the Traveler Anomaly NPCs you find randomly on space stations. Previously, you could go ahead and ask them where they came from, and they would lead you to a nearby grave on a nearby planet. Now, normally in the previous updates, that grave would only give you a portal glyph and that was it, but in the new update, you have an extra incentive to get them because now they also give you one of these items that you might recognize from previous expeditions called a memory fragment. So these can give you new technologies and new upgrades. In this case, you can also get something like a major technology like the one that I got for the paralysis mortar, but you can also get the randomly generated ones all the way up to the maximum rank. Totally worth it to now go out of your way, get them, you get the glyphs, and you also get the new upgrades. Now, speaking of upgrades, there's a quality of life change that was done specifically for transferring them between different ships, or in this case, different tools. If you head over and hover over any upgrade you've installed, you will notice that there's a brand new button over there in the middle called Store Technology. This is going to return that specific tag into a blueprint back into your cargo inventory. So now this is going to be perfect if you want to transfer these to a new ship or a new multi-tool. Let's say you got a brand new one that's missing an economy or a conflict scanner or maybe even a hyperdrive upgrade. You can just store the ones from your old ships and then transfer them to the new ones without having to waste any additional resources to craft the same technologies again. At number 4, an awesome quality of life change added was the fact that you can now see the entire list of crafting steps required to craft a certain product. So if you head over into the craft product page and hover over any of these ones right here, you will notice that there's a new option at the bottom called View Craft Steps. This in turn will open up a new window which shows you the entire tree containing every single material required to craft that specific item. It also goes for the more complex ones that require additional steps, all the way up to highlighting anything that you can craft right now with existing materials on your way towards it. And it even goes for the more complex ones like stasis devices, which have a huge list of things to craft. Yeah, that is also shown in its own window. I think that this is probably the best for me, as I do have a farm for that. It also goes for the smaller items too, so you can see everything in that window and beyond. At number 5, if you head over at any cartographer NPC on nearby space stations, you will notice that they sell a brand new chart here at the bottom for Exosuit upgrades. These will cost 3 navigation data to purchase, but luckily you can find plenty laying around space stations, on tables and adjacent rooms. These will immediately point you to drop pods, removing any additional steps required to see them in the early stages of the game before you manage to get your exocraft and its radar upgrades. Once you do reach it, it's now also going to generate a marker on your minimap, so now it's never going to get lost in case you're moving further away from it, maybe to find resources required to repair it. And by the way, speaking of those resources, once you do go there and in case you're lacking them, there's going to be a mission pop-up that will kind of tell you if there's any nearby resources you can find in order to repair the drop pod itself. It comes in quite handy. Eventually you might want to move ahead with the exocraft and the radar upgrade, since this is going to be much easier. And by the way, there's also a change for that. Now you're never going to find the same drop pod that you already unlocked, even if you happen to be on a moon. I did test this in a new upgrade, so if you have a different result, totally let me know down below in the comments. But now when you scan for drop pods, yeah, the game will constantly find new ones that you did not discover before, and even more so, it will highlight previously discovered ones so that you can see them with the scanner and look behind you to see exactly where you're moving from. At number 5, not really a major change, but definitely a welcomed one. With the continuous save file system that Hello Games added in the new update, you can now also save your game in the middle of space, or should I say the game auto-saves it for you every few minutes. Like in this case, I noticed that I had a save file done 1 minute ago on the autosave, so reloading it respawned me in the same location mid-space, even though I did not exit my ship at any point, like in the last half an hour or so. This can be extremely helpful in long journeys when you might otherwise lose your progress if you forget to get out of your ship. Oh, and by the way, it also saves you if you landed on your own frigate, but you will not remain on the frigate. Instead, it's going to respawn you in your ship in the same location or close to it in the middle of the space. I just wanted to let you guys know. In any case, there's plenty other smaller changes in there you especially might have noticed in terms of animation quality and new effects. We saw a few of these for the Atlas stones. There's many more for knowledge stones as well that I really liked, and many of the other like terminals and objects you might find on random planets. Most important though, you will notice that Atlas stations have gotten a lot of love in the new update. From the entrance, which now features the same like distortion effect as the usual black holes, all the way up to the interior and the Atlas itself, which now pulse with a lot more menacing force, emanating these really cool particle effects. And even like the gates on the way there are much more impressive than ever before. Like the whole station is just leagues above what it was in previous iterations. Totally loving the new update, as well as the more cinematic fog around the space anomaly. So if you notice any new of these effects, totally let me know down below in the comments. Thanks so much for watching, and until the next one.